So, time to get controversial, but not really controversial. But in fandom terms, anything is controversial.
Hi. Welcome to this rantish essay of a video. A fellow legend put together an entire essay addressed to the It Fandom, so we'll basically just be reading it out. Huge disclaimer, there is some terrible pronunciation on my part, because my Swedish ass is illiterate, and a whole lot of atrocious Xbox Live level audio quality. I did my best to level out the audio, but all of this was recorded over a Discord call, because, and I can't preface this enough, we are noobs.
Unpopular and somewhat controversial opinions on topics such as characterization, headcanon sexualities, relationship dynamics between characters, and why they're important. This essay or letter, however you choose to view it, is not meant to be offensive or to put anyone down. I believe that people's headcanons and works are perfectly valid. I just believe that it is good to keep a grasp on the canonical story and characters.
This first point will focus on characterization. Characterization often fluctuates between works and creators, and this is a good thing. I think it's great that we get new content with different views and stories so often, but there is an issue. Many people project onto characters, which is not inherently bad, but just needs to be acknowledged. When people write ventfics, it's perfectly fair to be unwilling to label it as such, but when diverting from canonical characterization and moving on to personal interpretation and projection, it should be stated.
That is a word.
Yes, it is a word. It should be stated. New people come to the fandom looking for content of the characters on screen, and most things are labeled as such. When in reality, Eddie will be a depressed fanboy, and Richie is an emo drug lord, which is not correct. Because according to this
Richie can't be an emo drug lord. He's a dumb gay nerd.
He's a simp!
He's a fucking simp.
Richie Tozier is a simp.
We speak the truth here, and I will tell you, as somebody who has been labelled as Richmond purely for the fact that I fucked your mother, literally nothing more. We have no other similarities because I'm obviously so cripplingly heterosexual.
Obviously.
I can say from first-hand experience, Richmond, Virginia Frank Tozier is a simp. Furthermore, people grow attached to characters, sometimes extremely so. This is relevant to my point, is when people view a character a certain way, it can be almost damaging when people change the character entirely. For example, I read a fic where Richie had a psychological breakdown and became an abusive, violent sociopath. And I would just like to say that that is a thing that exists, and I don't remember the title of it, and I kind of said that I just didn't want to call anyone out. It's literally just because I didn't remember the title because I wanted to block it out of my memory for all eternity. I think I'm a bit traumatized. But anyway, as well as this, Eddie was an emotionally weak femboy. This completely changed the dynamic between the characters and was clearly aimed at a specific group in the fandom. Straight 14-year-old white girls who think gay people are hot. However, the issue is that it was labeled a high school AU. I am not saying that this kind of thing is inherently wrong, or that every separate characterization or dynamic needs a separate AU. Only that it should be acknowledged in the tags, or the description, similar to a disclaimer. It should not be displayed as part of the canonical story, as it may not be what some people are looking for. And I say this because I just saw what looked like
Richie Angst fic. I love Richie Angst. I love making the character that I am linked to suffer because it's so hilarious to watch. But anyway, when I looked at this fic, I did not expect for Richie to, sexually harass Eddie for like 4 chapters, like more than 10,000 words. I wasted so much of my life just kind of, I want to bleach my eyes. Like, it was well written too. It's actually so sad. It's like, yeah, it's not a high school AU, it's a Richie has a psychological breakdown AU. So please.
Finally, constantly creating content of fandom views of characters obscures the original content for new people, or people who are more attached to the canon content. This isn't me telling you not to write AUs or fix-its, because we love those. Just to make an acknowledgement.
Yeah, we stand.
Exactly. Just to make an acknowledgement when you're writing diverges from canon. Examples of this are the fix-it tag, or a blank AU tag, or the trans Richie Tozier tag. These are all good, as they tell the reader what they are getting into and acknowledge the headcanons. Examples of this not being done are fics which do not involve these tags. yet have Richie being a depressed stoner or fuckboy or emo boy who has no feelings apart from horniness and anger, and Eddie being a soft feminized twink who sleeps around and cries all the time or something.
Yes, because we all know he's a feral midget.
Exactly.
Please stop making him dummy thick. If you're gonna do that, make them lesbians.
I don't have anything against these fics apart from the fact that people accept them as canon when they are not. New people often don't search for fandom interpretations, and I don't want the fandom to die, so please, if you write something which focuses on your own headcanons, don't act like it's all canonical facts and acknowledge the changes you have made.
I would get onto my hands and knees, but I don't have either of those because I'm a fork, so let's just move on. Our next subject is headcanon sexualities, and I will be honest, I did not actually look forward to typing that out. Like, I was literally having a crisis on how I can type out stuff about sexuality and not offend anyone. Like, seriously, my god. Anyways, it will sound very controversial. That is a warning. I do not want to be burnt alive. Which is impossible anyway, because I'm not, in fact, alive. But anyways, I am not against any of the sexualities that people give to these characters, nor am I against changing the gender identities of characters. Only the ways that people go about it. It's a big fucking problem. I'm just saying, it's a big fucking problem. But anyways, I'd also like to clarify that I'm a lesbian. And contributes to a point later on. Headcanon sexuality is now a lovely little fandom, often a result of projection, interpretation, or whichever media you prefer. For example, Richie in the novel is often seen as bisexual. I read the book at some point. I was like 10. I didn't get any of this. But okay.
You were 10?
Yeah.
When you read the orgy scene?
Yes.
No!
I didn't understand for it. I was fine. Richie in the movies, however, is made out to be gay. A homosexual, if you will. Most fanfics include Richie being bi or gay despite them mainly being movie Richie, and I think we should talk about why bi Richie should not be seen as canon for the movies as well, or for the franchise as a whole really. I probably should have mentioned that, but I didn't. I understand that his sexuality is not confirmed, and so I'd just like to say that this is my opinions, also because I'm just very gay. I'm not against the straights. But the point is, I think that Richie should be acknowledged as being gay in the movies, but we do need to differentiate. His internalized homophobia and struggles against Pennywise all center around homosexuality and his love for Eddie. It makes a real point of that. Like, all pussy, you'll know about it. Don't pretend you don't. But anyways, Eddie was his first and only love, which is why I think it's unreasonable to view him as being canonically bisexual in the movies, despite how his sexuality fluctuates between different media. Like, I'm sorry, but Richie's too busy staring at this fucking short, fucking feral midget demon boy's fucking legs. Because he wears short shorts. What do you expect? But the point is, he's too busy staring at Eddie to look at girls. Girls, what are those? This is because it is made a point of in the movies, and I think we should acknowledge that instead of using the book as an excuse to say that one sexuality is canon, I also didn't include that in the original thing, but I'm just going to say that now because here in this house, we improvise. The chances are that you aren't writing about the book, and I say that because in my experience, apart from that one 40-year-old who commented on the thing on AO3, it's mostly teens, mostly people who have not read the book because we're all babies.
Bipan, or whatever the fuck Richie is written to be, is valid, projection, interpretation, whatever other reasoning, but we should praise the fact that it is in fact a headcanon and not actually canon. Am I saying that you can't write bi Richie? No! Am I saying that you have to make Richie gay? No! I'm saying that Richie's implied sexuality is different in the movies and the book. So you shouldn't pick one and say it's canon, because one version of the media says so. Okay. So, I seem very against Richie being bi in fics about the movies. But the thing is, you don't need reasons for it. You don't need to say that you made him bi because of the book, or because all of this evidence says so. Same as with Richie being gay. Although that's very contradictory, I just need to explain my point. Seriously, I'm not a hypocrite.
Another issue is the stereotypes. Yeah, this point sure is something. Just gonna pause for a second, just because I need to grimace aggressively. I need to do a very aggressive fake smile, and nobody can see it, but I'm aggressively fake smiling right now, so I'm just gonna embrace that. But anyways, I know that people like to make Eddie gay because he's more stereotypically gay. He's extra. He wears booty shorts. He's fucking tiny and basically a dream twink. But why make him gay when he is the one who has a wife? It's based on stereotypes, my friends. Bisexual Richie is often also based on stereotypes. You know, if you're not a 14-year-old who's crushing on Richie and refuses to make him gay. But people are often convinced that a fandom relationship has to be a gay character and a bi character, which often relates to whoever you think tops. But even if you think Richie tops and his awkward jokes and probable finger guns are a bi thing, he can still be gay, because those are, you guessed it, stereotypes.
And here, my friends, is where my gayness comes in.
I think that we we should accept that not all of the Losers Club have to be gay, and that they don't... and that they also don't have to be... Oh, fuck me.
I mean, I would, but your mother.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, bro.
Fuck you. I think we should all accept that not all of the Losers Club have to be gay, and that they also don't all have to be dating. This is because many people can't hold off on making Beverly a lesbianese.
A less beans.
A lesbians.
A subtracted amount of beans from a larger amount of beans. A comparison between a large amount of beans and a smaller amount of beans. She's a smaller amount of beans, apparently, because people like to make her less beans, because me and the boys at 2 a.m. are looking for beans.
Stop making Beverly lesbian. Anyway, whether it's ignoring her canonical relationship with Ben to ship her with OCs and her friends' canonical wives, or simply making Ben into a trans girl for the sake of a lesbian relationship, it is honestly wrong. You may do this because of the short-haired lesbian stereotype, or her trauma involving men, but that doesn't make it necessary or any less uncomfortable to read. We know nothing about Patty and Audra, apart from that they are married to men, and so ignoring that is also blatantly ignoring canon. Although I would love lesbian representation, but so just write a femme ready, you. Make all the Losers girls. Don't act like it's just a headcanon when it ignores the plot so much. Especially when you just want to avoid straight relationships, because believe it or not, it makes it easier to fetishize homosexuality and is extremely unrealistic. That is not how representation is done.
And now we are on to relationship dynamics. These are kind of irrelevant, but they just really piss me off when they're done in like the stereotypical soft boy and emo way, and then just kind of accepted as being canonical. That is called fanon, guys. We need to admit that Eddie isn't some passive soft boy who cries to Richie and keeps quiet because he's scared all the time. And Richie isn't an emo punk who smokes and beats people up and sleeps around with girls to get over Eddie. This is just an exaggerated, dumb, sub kind of dynamic here. I feel so awkward saying that, my god. It's done for the sake of people finding it hotter. Eddie is not weak, and Richie isn't some sex-motivated asshole, and because he's a fucking nerd, and he was probably, I mean, this is just an assumption, but let's just say that I think Richie is a 40-year-old virgin.
Seeing them written in such a way with people acting like it's canon is very harmful for those who take refuge in the characters, and I say that as someone who is so unhealthily emotionally attached to the characters that it ruins my life daily. But anyway, people seek comfort in Eddie because he overcame so much abuse and he was like really strong despite being told that he was weak and so on, because obviously his mother's a crazy bitch. But anyways, people seek comfort in Richie as well because he deals with a lot, and he jokes about it for the sake of those around him because he does.
Placing the characters in these kinds of dynamics is centered on their sexual relationships, dehumanizes them, and completely overlooks the way their qualities help people cope. And it's honestly wrong, Alpha Richie and Omega Eddie. I am looking at you.
Too much, guys!
Too much! But in all seriousness, stop overlooking the good gay relationship dynamic we were given canonically for the sake of making it all about top and bottom dynamics and sex and free thought tying. It's so wrong. Especially when the characters are just teens.
Yes. Like, you can age them up all you want, but like, the characters are still, you know, in the first movie, because most of the time they're not writing about the 40-year-olds. We have to acknowledge that. Most of the time, people are not writing about the 40-year-olds. They're writing about the characters in the first movie, because obviously it's mostly teenagers in the fandom, and the teenagers
they all want to commit sex with Finn and Wolfhard.
Fucking Jack and Finn. So when people write stuff like that, it sexualizes these little baby boys, you know? I don't want to sound serious about it because otherwise it's going to make everything uncomfortable for everyone. So
don't take anything we say seriously. I know this is a serious essay, but nah.
It's like, we're not being serious about it. People can do what they want. It's just that we do have to acknowledge that, like, some of the things that people put out there are kind of harmful. Like, I know that I'm traumatized because people don't tag their shit right, okay?
Tag your fucking shit right.
Tag it right, guys.
Also, we're not being serious unless you agree with us. In that case, we are very serious and we are both geniuses.
We're so serious. We're as serious as mine and your mother's very, very committed romantic relationship. technically a joke because I have issues, but please respect canon by acknowledging your diversions from it. Sincerely, the most obsessive person here. That's a lie. I'm definitely not the most obsessive person. Like, I have seen so much worse. I'm just saying that people should be congratulated if they made it through our reading without abusing their walls, because, I mean, walls don't deserve to be abused. I'm just tenderly stroking my wall right now because it's my desk and we all know how that went down. I'm joking.
Hey everyone, let's tenderly stroke our walls because they deserve
Tenderly
appreciation.
stroke your wall.
Yes.
The only egg that would hold me at gunpoint is a legendary space egg, but that's a topic for another day.
I thought you defeated the space egg.
Yes, I defeated the space egg, but the space egg wants revenge.
Right.
It's understandable.
What did you do to the space egg?
I don't think you want to know. Anyways,
Oh god.
now I'm going to try and read and not sound like I am being held at gunpoint and that my bones are being shaken from within my non-existent skin.
Fuck you, okay, reading is hard.
It is hard, but not as hard as my dick was for your mother last night. I've made that joke 4 times today. That's specific one. Oh my god. This is pain.
Look, I am epic at editing, okay? I'm gonna make it sound so
you.
epic.
I know you're epic at editing. You're wonderful. I love you. You created the void, so, like, we know.
I love you too.
It's been new. It's gonna be so
Oh,
very
I'll give your avatar sunglasses too.
Oh, thank you. We should have matching sunglasses.
Yes.
Obviously. Think he's gay? I think he's gay because I think they should both be gay. I don't know. I'm gay.
I am a deceased fork, and I am literally... My word is law, and I fucked your mother.
You know what, actually, at some point I got so sidetracked, like, writing an essay for English that I thought of the word thesis, and then I got distracted, and I was just like, hey, hypothesis has the word thesis in it, and you, like, write a hypothesis before you write something, and you also put the thesis at the beginning of something, so what if the words hypothesis and thesis are linked, and then I, like, spent, like, 2 hours looking shit up, and then I didn't find anything.
Hey, agree with me, let's fuck America.
Yeah, let's fuck America with my massive 10-mile-long penis.
Yeah, 10 mile long.
Because I'm a straight boy.
Oh, wait. I know what we're ending the video on, okay? Okay, everyone listen. Say smart time, okay? Important announcement. Jane's friend zone has a small pee-pee. Thank you for watching.